Hey, all you rock stars, what is really going on? You are indeed on the winning walk with Christina, and as you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful, lovely day, and I'm out here hitting it on the dusty trail as usual. And I hope that as the days get nicer and nicer where you are, that you decide to get it in your mind to at least have 5 to 10 minutes a day where sunlight hits your skin and you can get some vitamin D. I sing that song all the time, but you have no idea how helpful it is to your mood and brain balance to get that needed extra vitamin D and serotonin when you're out walking. It is wonder working. You can do a lot of building with vitamins and minerals and different supplements and the things that you get from the food, your whole foods and grains and stuff, but it's nothing like good old sunshine on the skin that is so helpful and so therapeutic. If you can just get out and take like a 10-15 minute walk, you'll feel so much better. Your body will thank you. You'll even be a lot more productive. I'm noticing lately an uptick in energy to spring clean and to do a bunch of other things, and it's getting easier and easier for me to sleep the more I'm out here. I'm finding myself finding reasons to come out in my garden or finding reasons to just go for a walk, and it's just really been nice. But with that said, I didn't come on here to extol the virtues of vitamin D, although I'm a big proponent of it. I came on here to discuss something that happened over the course of this past week that I found really interesting, and I think it's a topic of discussion that we need to go into in depth. And I really want to hear all of your opinions in the comment section, all of it, because I think it's something that is a very touchy subject, but I think it's one that all women in general need to at least give a once over, at least look at it or ponder what I'm getting ready to say. Some of you, as soon as I start talking, some of you are going to get immediately offended. Some of you might even unsubscribe from my channel. And while all of that is okay, I just hope you at least hear me out. I've decided I'm probably going to make this a series, just like the If You Ask Me series. I'm going to make this a topic of discussion. It's kind of going to be polarizing and that sort of thing, but here we go. It's going to be called The Hair of My People. The Hair of My People. This applies to all people, but I'm specifically dealing with the hair of my people and the idolatry I'm finding surrounding the hair of my people. Yeah, the hair on our heads. Idolatry much. This came about when I went, and it's been since I got fired, y'all, that I went and to get my hair done. Shampoo, blow dry, flat iron is generally all I get, and I'll get a trim. The last time I went was October, November-ish. Now, you wash your hair between now and then, of course, but the full-on treatment, it's been since October since I went and had my hair done, and I was excited about it. Had a little money, so I was able to go and do it, and it's just such a treat to me. And my beautician is top tier. I love her. And even in 4 months, my hair, what she did was in October, I told her, I said, give me a little chopping, cut this much off. And she was just like, What? It's nothing wrong with it. I said, it doesn't have to be anything wrong with it. I said, cut it off. I mean, get the split ends and then get just a little bit more. Just cut that off. You know, by the time I come back to you again, it'll be grown back. It'll be grown back out. No biggie. And she's like, all right. But there was hesitation because there was nothing wrong with my hair. Wasn't split all up the shaft, wasn't damaged, wasn't fried, because really the only heat I put on my hair is the heat she puts on it. I might do curls sometimes where I'll take the curling iron out, or I might, you know, kind of touch up my crown with a straightener of some sort or a flat iron. But really, until I see her again, other than wash it and blow dry myself, that's all the heat that's gonna be on my hair. I don't use a lot of heat, so my hair is what you would call heat trained. I don't use a lot of heat and I don't need a lot of heat. So it's not like she was cutting it from a damaged standpoint. She was cutting it from a I want it cut standpoint. And if the truth be known, for the past couple of months, even before I got fired, I wanted my bob back. And the more I see these cute bob styles, the more I want my old bob back, which kind of dusted my shoulders slightly. That's how short I want to go. I miss that style, and I love the versatility of it. You can curl it under and bob it. You can flip it up and have a flip. You can do cute spiral curls on it. You can braid it out and wear it wavy. It's just a million things that you can do quickly with a bob cut, and I absolutely love it. I love a bob cut with China bangs, and I wore it. I wore that styles from the 90s when it was extremely popular all the way up until now. And I know it's a style that a lot of old people wear, and it's really old school, but I see why it was as popular as it was in the 90s, and it's still popular today. There are a million different styling options you can do with it, or nothing at all. You can take it, which I normally, if I'm not going anywhere or doing anything, you can take it and just wrap it, put it under a satin scarf and sleep, and then just unwrap it when you get up and go on about your business. So I absolutely rock that style, love that style. It's cool. But for me, it'll only be a bob for about 2 months and then it's coming back, if not quicker than that, because I take care of my hair and I make sure it's healthy and I don't put a lot of heat on it. So if I'm honest, even before October, I want my bob back. Not only do I want my bob back, but I want to dye it a certain color that I've picked out. It's sort of a violet color. That's what I want. But I notice when I go into the shop, the amount of women who are invested in my hair and what I do to it. And I notice that it is affecting my beautician and what she will do to it readily and what she won't. I sensed a hesitation in her just cutting what I wanted her to cut, which to me wasn't a lot because, like I said, my hair grows fast and it grows quickly. So it's no big deal for me to cut my hair. I would cut it. I used to cut my hair twice a year on average into these bob cuts. And that's how quickly it would grow. In 3 months, half of it would be back. And in 6 months, it would all be back. And that's how it's been for the past almost 40 years. My hair grows and it grows fast. My hair came from my mother and my grandmothers on both sides, they had hair you could sit on. Now I know people say that all the time, and you know, we just got long hair. We've always had long hair, blah 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 blah. And but no, literally, they had hair you could sit on. My mom's mom hated it. She would cut hers off as short as she could get it because she hated dealing with it. But she had 7 girls with that same amount of hair that she had to deal with. So dealing with theirs and hers was too much for her. So she would keep hers really like very short, but very coiffed and very, very pretty. It was always thick. It was always full. She was 66, 67 years old when she passed. And she always had her hair on point, period. But it was always long and it was always pretty, and she would cut it immediately. She was, I don't want none of this hair on the back of my neck. I hate it. And she would cut it off. And my dad's mom was more like sanctified holiness, and I'm talking pew flipping, tongue talking, snake handling, sanctified holiness, primitive sanctified holiness. And she had what I call the big Pentecostal bald. She never trimmed it. She never cut it. She never, because to her, you know, the scripture that a woman's hair is her crown, she took it quite literally to the point where she never ever cut her hair, not even trimmed her hair. She wore it in a ball, a wraparound ball, and that ball had to weigh 5 to 6 pounds. When she took that ball down to wash it and brush it and all of that stuff, she was literally sitting on her hair. It was that long. And she was 49 when she passed, and she passed with that ball. Thick, heavy, dark blonde hair, not a gray strand in sight. So she shaped my views on my hair, and my mom's mom and my mom had their views on my hair. My mom and my dad's mom were of the mind that, you know, no, don't cut it. You know, my mom was like, okay, trim it, but don't cut it. I was always a bang girl. I always wanted a swoop bang or some China bangs. I always wanted bangs. And the fight with my mom and my dad's mom was always for bangs. I wasn't wanting to cut my hair because in our community back then, it was extremely strict and sinful to cut your hair. Supposedly the loose, fast women cut their hair. And then you had this whole witchcraft aspect. You can't, you know, all the women who see you with the long hair. This is what I was told, y'all. and so I was indoctrinated into this line of thinking. All women who see you with all that long hair are gonna be jealous and envious. They're gonna be scissor happy, and they're gonna cut all your hair off, and they're gonna scalp you bald, and they're gonna take your hair and they're gonna put it in a bag, and they're gonna do witchcraft rituals on it, and your life is gonna be a mess when they get done with you witchcraft wise, because they hate you and they hate your hair. Now I heard all of that. It sounds crazy, but I'm not kidding when I say I was raised like that. Don't go to any beautician unless somebody you know is gone to them. They could be a witch and you'll be bald headed and da 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 da. So in essence, worship your hair and treat it as currency. In my community, hair is currency. Everybody has, if they don't have their own hair, they can't grow their own hair, they get these bust down what they call bust down lace fronts and bust down weaves and all varying colors. That was another thing that back in the day that they told you, you know, the loose women of ill repute had multicolored hair, and you just didn't do that. I mean, the proper young ladies, you don't cut your hair all off, and you definitely don't dye no other color. You know, some of the colors are like crazy, but whatever, to each his own. You know, I'm about health more than I am about length. You know, I mean, it was a fight. It was a fight to get my hair cut. Now, like I said, the only one who shared my innate opinion about hair and really did not worship it to the point where she felt like holding on to length was best, better than having healthy hair, was my mom's mom. God rest her soul. Miss her every day. But Miss Doris was like, look, long as it's healthy, if you don't like it and you don't want to deal with it, and you know of a style that you can do where it's just low maintenance for you, cut it off. It's hair. It's not like it ain't gonna grow back. It will. And that's how I felt. She is the one who would do my hair every Saturday, every other Saturday. Either she or one of my aunties, one of my mom's sisters, would press my hair, wash it and press it and all of that stuff. And I told her one day, I said, she said, you know, I'll trim your hair today. And I said, yeah. I said, but Grandma, can I have some bangs? Now she knew. She knew my mama didn't want my hair cut at all for nothing. You know, she talked to her about trimming it, and she said, now, you know, your mama gonna be mad. Your mama gonna be mad, but I don't see nothing wrong with a little what she calls stingy bang, which really ain't cutting the hair. It's just like the little piece in the front that gives you the satisfaction of calling yourself having a bang, but it really doesn't mess with the rest of the hair. It's not like she made this straight across cut where where I really have this full bang action going. But it was just enough for me to put, this is all I wanted. I just wanted enough to put in a little pink foam roller, like I was doing something, had this little bump on the in the front. She said, now, your mom gonna get mad at me, but I'm gonna go on and cut it. I'm gonna give you what we call a stingy bang. So she gave me a stingy bang, and I just thought I was the cutest thing walking. I absolutely loved that bang. My mama saw that, and I thought she was just gonna hit the roof of my grandmama's house. She was hot because she never wanted my hair cut, not ever. Now, when she left home, to show you the hypocrisy of all of this, when my mama left home and went to college, the first thing she did with her hair that she could sit on was she went to college, found a beautician, cut it all off into about a bob length or shorter, and dyed it honey blonde. She went from honey blonde to red, and she dyed her hair up until a couple of years before she passed, because she hated gray hair. So that's the first thing she did with her hair. And my grandmother didn't blink. She was just like, okay, because hair was not my mother's mother. It wasn't her currency. Her worth to her community, and the things that she gave to the community, and the ways that she took care of herself, her kids, and her grandkids was her currency. They kept her hands and her feet moving, and it gave her fulfillment in her life. And she never measured her beauty on her hair or how it looked. Now, it was always pristine. Don't get it twisted. If she couldn't get to the beauty shop when she wanted to, she most definitely knew how to do her hair herself. Because she always told me, girl, no matter what you do, don't go out here looking crazy about the head. Don't do that. And my mama would always say, don't pull your hair together. If all you can do is put it in a ponytail, do that. But don't go out here looking like a convict, bringing shame to my name. Appearances were very important. With the hair, it was very important that it was well kept. So my hair and my clothes were always pristine because of them. But she did not have the idolatrous affection to hair that most of the community does, and they still do, to the point where there's this hidden, subtle in some cases and totally blatant in others, policing of what you do to your hair, especially when it's long and it's healthy. Cutting it is a cardinal sin to most of the community. You know, this phrase is what I hear most often when I cut my hair. And then I'm going to go back to my beautician, because I know I'm rambling and all over the page now, and I'm trying to keep it together. But this is a thing I hear, particularly when my hair is as long as it is. It's like halfway down my back at this point. And so when I go and I will cut my hair to like chin length, a chin length bob or some style like that, this is what I will hear in the shop. Oh no, you cutting all your hair off? Why you cut so much off? Girl, that's too much. Oh, it's gonna take so long to grow back. Oh no. And it's like there's this like mourning. Girl, if I had all of it, there's no way I cut it off. I wouldn't let none of these scissor happy beauticians near my head. They just want you to be bald headed anyway. Girl, no, you shouldn't have did that. Girl, you should have just got a wig or something. But don't never cut your hair off like that again. Oh my gosh. And my mama would co-sign on it. She would always co-sign on it. She would say stuff like, your grandmama will roll over in her grave if she knew you had cut off all that hair. I mean, now the first thing you did when you went to college was do it. Now you didn't do it no more because you valued length, and you valued health, but it just had to be long, and that's how everybody should think. You know, not only did my hair need to be long, I needed to dye my gray and fight the gray till infinity. You just don't show gray hair. So, you know, so I heard that every single time I cut my hair off to short, to suit me, to a style that I like, that only is gonna last maybe 2 months at the most, and it's gonna grow right back out. So that was every time I got my hair cut. Girl, you cutting off what folk going to beauty supply stores to buy. You cutting it off. How do you do that? How do you make that okay? And that's just not right. And da 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 da. Every single time. It wasn't how you doing. It was like, girl, you cut all that hair off. You cut all that hair off. Girl, why did you do that? Da 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 da. Every time. So there's this policing of length, and it's insane to me. That is idolatry. That's idolatry. I don't know if we as a people, we women, feel like men really care about it. Some do. Some care in an inordinate fashion about it. I don't want my girl to be looking like a man. Well, short hair doesn't make a woman look like a man unless she gets a haircut suited for a man, and she is going for that look. A woman is a woman, short hair or long. You can have your preferences, but it should not have any bearing on how you feel. That's to me, that's superficial. Superficial. I mean, hair is a wonderful thing, don't get me wrong. But is it to be worshiped to the point where your heart and your mind can be changed about someone you love just based on what's on their head or what's not on their head? It's something to ponder and really think about, because it's hair. Now I would tell my mom that, and every time I also something else I had to deal with every time. I'm just gonna walk through here, but with every time I cut my hair, I had to deal with that in the shop. It'd be too high, and I had to deal with that chit chat in the shop, and the beautician really not wanting to cut it because she really didn't want to. It was beautiful, healthy, long, da da da. Why am I cutting it? So in her was this hesitation, but then she would be getting it from the other people at shop. Girl, why you cut that much hair off? You shouldn't have cut her hair off like that, and all of that. Why would you cut that? That was just too much. So I had that, but then something else that my mom would do to express her displeasure in me cutting my hair was she would give me the old silent treatment. She would not speak to me for a week. Just stop talking to me at all. Or she would give like one word answers to express her pleasure, as though not speaking to me was gonna grow my hair back overnight. Just throwing a tantrum. And she literally did that every time I cut it, because she did not. And I asked her one time, I said, Mama, why is it that it's so horrible that I cut my hair when the first thing you did when you went to college was cut all yours off and die? Well, it's your hair was always prettier than mine, and I just really didn't want you to cut it. I said, but that's unreasonable. She was like, I don't care if it's unreasonable or not. It's just how I wanted things. I mean, if our mama didn't want us to do something, we just didn't do it back in the day. We didn't weigh whether it was reasonable to us or not. It was just a part of obedience. And I feel like you should value your hair as much as I value your hair, because there's a day coming where you're not gonna have all the hair you have and you're just playing around with it. One of these days your hair is gonna start getting thinner and falling out, and you're gonna want all the hair you cut off back. She used to if I can quote it verbatim, that's because that was what was said to me every single time I cut my hair off. Every time. So sheesh. So this is what I got. And so let me circle back to not make this video too long, which is already pretty long. So she cut the hair, and this was in October. Well, it's March now, so all of the hair she cut is back and then some, no problem. And then let me come back out of this again and talk about my mom and this prediction that she had of hair not growing back, or it just doesn't take as long to grow back, and when you get sick, your hair just stop growing. I'm on all these medicines, and you see what shape my hair is in, and da 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 da, and it's not gonna grow back, and it's not gonna be what it was when I was younger, and I want all the hair I cut off back, and this and that and blah blah blah. All these medicines, you need to look at all of these medicines and stuff. All of this stuff is the reason why my hair ain't growing back, da 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 da. And she had a traumatic event that reduced her to tears in the chair when I took her to get her hair done, because the beautician told her all of her hair was damaged. She liked to wear the high ponytails, and where she liked to wear the high ponytails, her hair was frayed from all of the scrunchies, and pretty much she had to get it all cut. I mean, she had a little curly cap, and it was devastating to her because her hair was like, she was almost able to sit on it, but it was that damaged. I looked at it, she looked at it, he looked at it, and we all agreed. But she fought hard to keep some length and she could not keep it. It was damaged. Hey, and she was very, very upset. So after that experience, she went harder on me and my hair. By then I was completely gray and my hair was long, and so she was just like, keep the length but dye that gray, girl, because I mean, if you're gonna look around soon, you're gonna be white. And that was a cardinal sin too. If you were a woman of a certain age, you didn't show not to her one strand of gray. So so the fact that I wasn't on the dye your hair bandwagon was irritating to her too. Don't you get tired of that? I mean, it just makes you look older. You need to dye that gray. Well, I started going gray in high school. I was 17, 18 and I was going gray. So that just is what it is. And I found that when I dyed my hair, it changed the texture of it, and it wasn't very good. So I just stopped. I stopped fighting with it, and I let my hair do what it wants to do, and it was healthier than ever. But with this, the hair ain't gonna grow back if you get sick, My mama had a tub of medications that she took because she was diabetic and hypertensive, and she was in congestive heart failure. But when my mama passed with her hair halfway to her waist. So this whole notion that hair is not going to grow back, or it's not going to grow back as fast if you get on medicines, it's a myth. If you take care of your hair, even on all of the medications, the rate of growth may be altered, but in her case, even with all that she was dealing with, it was not. So if you don't want me to cut my hair off just because you don't want me to cut it off, just say that. But don't be pronouncing don't be prognosticating doom and gloom on my hair, because you're gonna want it all back. No, what I cut off needs to go just because I wanted to, because it's my hair on my head. So let me circle back to my beautician. She cut it all off in October. Well, she cut what I asked her to off in October. If she cut a little more than that, it's not like it's gonna matter to me, because it's gonna come back. And even if it doesn't come back, I still got plenty of hair. So that's not my currency. So when I went back this time last week, in my mind, I was sitting there and I thought, I'm gonna get her to, it's like I have to work up the courage to do it, because I already know the backlash that's coming, be it subtle or blatant. I know it's coming. Shouldn't be a big deal, and it's only really a big deal to my people. I don't know of any other, are there any other ethnicities that have hair issues? Just talk to me. But in our community, it's like this cardinal sin. I mean, we don't care about the Bible in any other context really, but the hair, that's very, very important, like the rest of the Bible is not. But I was thinking I want a bob, and I want it to be that violet shade that I want, that violet color, real light violet. I think it would be really, really pretty. And so I was sitting there, and I was under the dryer, and I was talking to Ray on the phone. This was before I had said anything to my beautician about what I wanted her to do. She always asks me, but there's always a hesitation in asking, because she know when I want to cut it, and she does not want to. Now I'm paying you, but you still don't want to. So I was talking to Ray on the phone, and Ray was like, "You gonna get a bob?" I said, yeah, when I go in there, I'm gonna get it a bobbage for the summer, because I just want to enjoy a couple of months where I don't really have to deal with it. I can just put a little moisturization, a little oil on it, and take a satin scarf and just, wrap it at night, and that's it, and that's all. Because I don't do a whole lot to my hair. I just don't. I feel like the more you manipulate your hair, the more likely it is that over time you're gonna damage it. And heat, the over processing of heat does a lot to it. I'm out in the sun as it is, and I have heat protecting on it even out here in the sun. So I mean, this is what I want to do. And because I know the style and have worn it forever, I know exactly what I want, and I know how to take care of it. So I said, yeah, I'm gonna get her to bob it right here before the summer. That bob is gonna come in handy. It's gonna be hot, and I know I'm gonna be outside even more, and I don't want to rock a ponytail or a little Pentecostal. My grandmama's a little Pentecostal ball in the heat. I just take it off. And so I had that in my head when I sat down in the chair. And so she blew me dry, and she was like, girl, the hair I cut. Because see, she had heard the conversation. The hair I cut, I already back. I'm gonna give you some sausage curls. And she started curling it, and she was like, isn't that pretty? And so I said, oh well, I could fight her to cut my hair, but I don't feel like doing that. So I'm just gonna, I ain't gonna fight her, because that was her way, real nice way to tell me, don't want to cut your hair today. I don't want to cut it now. So I just said, okay. But what I did do was I said, next time I come back, I don't know when that's gonna be, but next time I come back, I want you to cut it off. No, you didn't want to today. And she just started laughing. I said, I know you didn't want to today, but it's what I want. And I need you. And see, we had that relationship because I've been going to her 3-4 years now. So I already know the hesitation, and I know all of the ins and outs as to why. But I still want what I want. So I said, I want you to bob it. I want you to put it back in the bob. She was like, how short? I said, I took a picture out of the bob that I really, really like, and I said, this short right here. She was like, woo. I said, no, not woo. I want it. That's what I want. And I wanted this color. Period. So she's just like chewing on that. And I'm at the point now where it's funny, but it's not funny. If I'm asking you to move mountains and cause walls to fall in what you do to my hair, if I'm asking you to do something you can't do, that's one thing. But if I'm asking you to do something you can do, that's another thing. And it puts me at a disadvantage, because what I want is an old school beautician. No shade and no offense to these younger beauticians, but I want an old school beautician because I'm an old school person. These young ones are, I almost call them racketeers, and what they charge for long hair. These younger ones penalize you for your hair a certain length and claim that you use more product on longer hair, which is absolute poppycock. You don't want to deal with longer hair, so you want to penalize people who have longer hair. Well, that makes it hard to find a good beautician. Now, going back to this aspect of envy and jealousy and stuff like that, it's real. In our community, it's real. I've experienced it, so I understand it. There are some women who want the hair on your head for themselves, even though they would not go to the lengths I go to take care of it. They want it just to swing in the breeze, which, by the way, is vanity and idolatry at the same time. It's a mechanism for you to be seen, and you think that men would be attracted to it. Not only do you want men to be attracted to it, you want women to covet it. You want them to be jealous of the hair that you have, and so it's a badge of honor to you to have long hair. I don't see any of that way. To me, it's just hair. My mama would say, well, that's because you've always had it. If you didn't have no hair, you think differently. And for a long time, I internalized that, well, maybe I would. But it's still idolatry. You are not, Idolatry had a song, and it's, I'm not my hair, I'm not my skin, I'm the soul that lives within. But if your soul is not developed, you will put all of your efforts into your hair and everything you think makes you valuable, when there's nothing about you, your hair, your nails, your skin, your eyes, your hips, your lips, your fingertips, nothing about you is going to that eternal home. Everything that you have down here that you believe brings you glory, none of it you're going to have. None of it you're going to have when you leave this earth. This is your bodysuit. Now, you want your hair healthy, but length doesn't determine health. Length doesn't determine health. Health determines health. You want your hair, your body, and everything healthy, but nothing should be more healthy than your soul. Your soul is what you're going to take with you, and you need soul fitness. If you have soul fitness, your natural body will begin to conform to health and become fit and healthy when your soul is fit and healthy, because that's what you're going to take with you. This body frame, hair and all, you're going to leave here when you die. You're going to leave it when you die. And so it's more important that we deal with the soul. Deal with why hair is so important. Because I guarantee you, at an opportune time, you choose. If you take 5 men and ask them about hair, 3 of them are going to say, if you like it, I love it. If it's healthy and you like it, I love it. The 3 out of 5, or maybe 4 out of 5 will tell you it's not the length. Now that 1 out of the 5 will tell you, oh, it's about the length. She got to have long hair. I can't deal with no bald-headed, blah, 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 fill in the blank. But 4 out of 5 men are going to tell you, if it's healthy and you like it, I love it. Because they really don't care. They're not looking at the hair. They're looking at you overall and assessing what they see. You want it to be healthy. You want it to look nice. But it's not a concern. And for us, it shouldn't be as big of a concern as it is. But we were conditioned by the prior systems to treat our hair like currency, that we could buy or sell with, and treat our hair like the barometer that measures our worth as a person, which to me is idolatry at the height and the root of a lot of insanity. Your hair is not your barometer to measure yourself as a person. The Lord measures who you are as a person. Not your hair, your clothes, your body frame, or any of that. The Lord determines your worth. And He says that your value is far above rubies. He didn't make you to relegate the sum total of your worth to something that's passing away when you do. He's eternal. To him, your soul is beautiful. He created it. And it's what's leaving here to be joined to him or not. Not your body, not your hair, or anything else. I want to unravel a lot of these teachings that we've been taught. And I want us to consider how much value we're placing on our hair. Are we in idolatry? Is it idolatry much for us? It's okay to want long hair. But is it a hindrance? Is it really a hindrance? Has it become idolatry? Very easy to do. Very, very easy to do. It's just something to think about, y'all. In the comments, I'd like to have a whole discussion about this. And I'm thinking about joining with another up-and-coming influencer friend of mine and having this discussion. Because we need to break down some of these things that we think about hair and what it really is and how we are to treat it and how we ought to look at ourselves better than we are. We need to look at it through the lens of Scripture. That's going to be our next point, especially for us women of God. We need to really break this down. I think we're treating each other, we're mistreating each other because we really don't understand what the Word of God says about the whole man. And we need to understand what the Word of God says about the whole man. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, with hair or no hair. You are beautiful, and you are elect and chosen in the eyes of God, and He loves you with or without your hair. But again, we're gonna pick this up because this is a long video and I don't want to take it too far. If you appreciate this content, give it a thumbs up because we're gonna go here, y'all. I will talk to you rock stars really, really soon. Bye bye.